To the very generous Snow family who in 3 years have given more than $100 million to young and emerging scientists. Yesterday, the foundation suspended its multi-million-dollar links with the University of Melbourne, though. This after the institution's controversial awarding of honorary doctorates to 6 white men. The foundation claimed the university's actions send the wrong message to all women and persons of diversity. Joining me live is a Snow Medical Chair, Tom Snow. Tom, good to see you again. Why have you done this? Have you got evidence that these weren't awarded on merit?
So the Snow Medical Research Foundation is Australia's biggest philanthropic organisation supporting medical researchers, and we've invested $90 million into the medical research sector here in Australia, and $16 million of that we've invested with our partner, the University of Melbourne. Part of signing that up to that is being part of our values, and one of our values is a commitment to gender equity and to diversity, and we spent a lot of time talking with them about that. So last week, when the image came out of the University of Melbourne's honorary doctorates, and there were 6 people in those images, and they were 6 white men. And I got to say, from the bottom of my heart, I was just so disappointed to see that. I thought about young women, people who aren't white, and students at the university, tens of thousands of students at the university who would see that image and send, the message that sends to them is no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, white men are going to get rewarded ahead of you. And it's just not acceptable. We wrote to the university, we've met with the university, we spent some time with them. While I think they do see it's not a good look, we have been underwhelmed by the response. And I think this is a terrible message, because these awards are not about just awarding great achievements. They're about inspiring, and sending that message is terrible. And it does actually get worse. If you go back in time, last year they didn't have honorary doctorates because of COVID, but the year before they had 2 honorary doctorates, and again, both of those 2 honorary doctorates were appointed to white men. And you're not telling me that over the last 3 years you couldn't find some good women to turn up to a ceremony? I am astounded. I would also say that I believe there are some women going to be awarded honorary doctorates at the next ceremony, which is fantastic. I also think the University of Melbourne is doing some great things in the area of gender equity and diversity, and in some areas they are being very proactive.
What did the university say to you when you brought this up with them?
I don't want to share all of our confidential discussions. I think they were disappointed in the outcome. But I think the important thing to note here is that this is not just a small award. This is their most prestigious award that they give. The people that sit on this selection panel, it's the Chancellor, it's the Vice-Chancellor, it's the Deputy Chancellor, it's the head of their academic services, it's the cream of the university, and not one person stopped to think what that would look like and the effect that would have on young women, of people who are not white, and the image that would project. And I think that shows that there is a cultural failure here. This is a university that does have all the policies in the world. They've got everything written. They've got all the talk. Yeah. I would just want to see them walk the walk and actually see some change. And I think people are sick of it. And the response on social media, the response directly to me on deluge of emails is it's time to just get on and fix it and do some things and take action. And what I would want to do with the university, and what I've offered to do with them, is sit down with them and work through, and we want to bring them back into our program. We will continue to honour our existing arrangements for our existing 2 Snow Fellowships to $16 million, because we don't want to compromise their careers. But we want to make sure that there is change, and we want to help them make change, see them make change, and hopefully they do realise that this is wrong, and they come to the table and say, okay, we stuffed up. The reality is, we all do stuff up from time to time. We're not all perfect. Certainly, I'm not, we're not. This is an area where we all need to improve. We all need to do better, including ourselves. They need to come to the table and work through, and hopefully this is an opportunity for them to become true and other leaders in this space and right those wrongs and show to young women, or all women in fact, show all people of different diversities, whether that's different ethnicities, LGBTIQ people, disabled people, and show that they are going to be the best in Australia. And it's a great opportunity for them, and I hope that we can welcome them back into the Snow Fellowship program very soon.
What about these young men that were awarded these grants? I mean, I imagine at a university such as the University of Melbourne, this is unambiguous. If these men are the top 7 in their class, what should the university have done? Or are you saying that your money comes with quotas for diversity and gender?
Are you talking about the awards that we make or the awards that the university makes?
I'm talking about this and the links, the awarding of these honorary doctorates to the 6 men. Why were they given? Is it because they were 6 best people in the class? And are you now saying that your links with Melbourne University, it's not just about awarding the best people, your money now comes with strings attached and it needs to have a gender quota and a diversity quota linked to it?
Okay, so the honorary doctorates are not for people who are at the university at the time, so they're not generally for younger people who are in the process. They tend to be for people who have progressed through life and done amazing things through their career, and there truly are some exceptional people there. And therefore, I believe they're open for all Australians.
Yeah. What I'm getting to, maybe this is an easier question, Tom. Is there some ambiguity here? If these were the 6 best people for these honorary doctorates, that's how the university took it. Were they colourblind and gender blind and just chose these people rather than taking into account the other factors?
I do not accept that there are not 6 amazing women in Australia that you could find that are not as good as these people. So I think there is clearly a bias in the system.
Okay.
I think clearly there's an oversight, and no one has thought along the way, about this. I think it is sometimes hard, and I know we go through our processes. When you see people come through a process when you're on a selection panel, you do need to actively think about the bias that's in the system that's been them on the way there. And I know that when we look at our best Snow Fellows, and these are the best researchers in Australia and indeed the world, that you do need to sometimes look at a male and a female CV differently, because there is bias in the system. Females generally often have had to spend time raising children, and you need to take account for that. They've had to take career breaks, and raising children isn't just the time between when you have the baby and when you go back to work. I mean, raising children, you've got to be there for their upbringing. It takes time. So you do need to think actively about it. I'm not advocating there should be quotas, and certainly there's no strings attached to what we're doing, but I am telling you that if you've got 6 people in this ceremony and 2 people in the ceremony before, all of whom are white male, you're missing something. There's something wrong, and that needs to be addressed.
Well, on that note, happy International Women's Day. Tom Snow, thanks for your time.